What's up, everyone? It's your lady, Amy the Seventh, with another episode of Pretty Woman That Speaks. And today, I am your solely, your only pretty woman to speak to you today. And I'm super excited. I just had a birthday, 7-7, on Friday, and I turned 32. Flavors of that booty. This is bubblegum. Okay, I represented for the little booties all weekend long, all across the city of Detroit. And let me tell you, I stayed in motion. Q plies, right? Because I got motion. It is such a blessing to have motion. Let me tell you all, because it is so easy to be paralyzed, not only mentally, but physically as well. And let me tell you all, it didn't start off like this because for me, this birthday, number 32, was very personal. That's the number of five. And we know that five is a traveling number, it's a number of new places, new faces. And trust me, I met a lot of people over this weekend, and I'm excited to bring them to my podcast because they are down. But when I say that this birthday was personable for me, personal for me is that I would travel. I was riding in the car to some of the many parties that I went to over the last week, and like something just really hit me in my spirit. And let me tell you, I was overwhelmed with just gratitude and the ability to just move when I want to. When you want something and you can go and get it, it is such a blessing to do it. And last year, birthday 31, it really was a foundational year for me because I learned a lot about myself, learning how to walk again, regaining your muscles, losing your job, losing your home. I mean, it was just so many things that went on for me that I'm just grateful that I don't look like what I've been through. There is such a testimony when it comes to that. And 31, my mom was calling me the lady in the window, and I definitely was because I was really sad all summer. Like, I'm a summer baby, so when I can't be outside and doing cartwheels, it's sad. And I was in a window in a hospital bed all year long last year. And it was such a humbling experience because I got a chance to reflect in my life a different way. And it's really interesting because you really think you have time until you don't have time. And when I think about losing my best friend, she was 29 a few years ago, and I thought about how much life she had, and she really was living life to the fullest, but unfortunately, she was cut short. And then for me, to be living my life to the fullest, career wise, professionally wise, but personal wise, I felt stifled. I was not growing personally. So to me, when you're not living life to the fullest, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing your family a disservice because they brought you here. At least my family brought me here to see me win. And I want to see y'all win too as well. So to me, this whole year, number 32, of course, I'm born on 7-7, and that's the number of completion for. So for me, I've completed hurdles, right? They're done for me when it comes to long suffering, when it comes to low pockets, when it comes to low vibrations. All of that is over. That's been completed. So I had a story, I've lived a story. So now I want to talk to you all about my story. I moved to Memphis last year. And I came to Memphis as the senior morning producer at ABC 24. It was such a blessing for that position because I've been on and off in news since 2013. But this is the first time I actually got the leadership title. You know how often you in a position and they never give you the title, but you are the star, right? Because you put on the show, you make things happen, and that was me. So shout out to Denisha and Rick for you all giving me this opportunity, giving me that opportunity to really see myself grow. And to me, it's bittersweet because I didn't see myself actualize in that position because I was only there for 6 months before my near fatal accident happened. And let me tell you, I I don't know. I had such a trouble with cars in Memphis, and to me, I think I spent too much energy on a vehicle that was not my body, because this is the only body you need, the only vehicle you need to get to where you're going, and that's your body. So you need to be cherishing it, and you need to watch what you put on your body and what you put in your body when it comes to food, spiritually and physically, right? And those were things that I was not, if I could be honest, really taking into account, because I was just doing me, right? 30, 30 and flirty, no kids, not married yet. So, I mean, I was just out there with the wind, right? And I think a lot of us, we get out there and we just be blown into the wind. And maybe that's why sometimes, especially for people like me, there has to be a dramatic experience to right your ship. And so Memphis definitely gave me the treatment, because 4 months in, I bought a new car in Memphis, and then it was stolen downtown during the Grizzly game. It was over. I come outside, clicking, clicking, click. There's no beeping, right? Because the car was gone. I got hit up by one of the Kia boys, I had to admit. So, yeah, Kia, I can't wait till the lawsuit settlement happens, because I want my money, okay? So, 6 weeks later, I hustled up some more money to get another car. And to me, shout out to Buick, because they had 5 airbags, and how I was hit, that side airbag really saved my life. Of course, it just wasn't my time, because we have to always give honor and glory and gratitude to God, right? And to me, God really saved my life. And so did Buick, because he made sure that I was in the car, right? The right car that would save me. So I'm coming back from West Memphis, and if you're familiar, West Memphis is in Arkansas, and it's split from Tennessee by the Mississippi River and a bridge. And so I'm coming back, and I'm about 15 minutes from home or so. And they always say 10 minutes is usually your most deadliest, time trying to get home, and that definitely was for me. So I'm coming home, and a car sideswipes me, and I lose control and crash right there on I-240 North in Jefferson into a concrete median. And let me tell you, I had a side airbag that really broke up the crash, and my seatbelt, of course, because safety first if you're gonna if you're gonna go through that type of trauma. And so I crashed into that concrete median, both of my ankles broken, my left ankle literally splintering from the skin, and I blacked out a lot of that time. But what I do remember is trying to reach for my phone. Okay, vanity, right? Because I'm not worried about nothing else, but why is my phone and my belongings scattered all across my passenger? And I realized I could not move, so whew, I'm out, because that's too much. And I wake up again to the police officer flashing a flashlight into my face, and he's trying to communicate to me, ask me, do I know what happened? I'm blacked out again. I don't even remember the ambulance ride. What I do remember is waking up to the nurses picking glass off of my body, and they telling me what happened. I may have crashed into a pole, I may have crashed into a median. They wasn't sure. I got the full story when I got the police report. But again, vanity again, because I was more concerned with them cutting my dress off of my body. I was like, did they really cut my dress off? Again, not worried. I'm not worried about my body, right? My vehicle, right? I'm concerned about the vehicle that got broken up. I'm concerned about my phone. I'm concerned about the dress. So, life really gets put into perspective when you have to be set down. And God set me down all year long. Year 31, I was set down, let me tell you. And so I spent 16 days in the hospital. I underwent 3 surgeries, two on both of my ankles. My left ankle had to have an additional surgery because it literally had to be put back into the skin. And then my right shoulder, if you see here, I have a plate right here. It's big and bulky compared to my left side. We had to get a plate put back in. And then I broke my seventh rib because Again, 7 is a number. It's a special number to me. I was born on two sevens, and so it's ironic that I will break my seventh rib. And of course, I am Amy the seventh because I am literally the seventh Amy in my family. So it's a generational name. And so to me, 7 is very personal. And so I spent 16 days. When I finally got released, they carried me up, the ambulance team carried me up to the second floor in a makeshift body bag. And that's a humbling experience. I didn't even really go into the details of how the nurses and the patient techs. I mean, I was very vulnerable in that hospital because I was literally naked. I mean, the sponge baths, they were literally washing me up, helping me go to the bathroom. And that's a humbling experience because I always been private. And what I really learned through this experience is that when it's time to transform, right, you're going to be exposed. And sometimes that exposure is not something that you want, but it's something you have to go through. And let me tell you, for my birthday, I stunted with nothing but butterflies, right? I'm still wearing a butterfly now. And the lady, she saw me in a bathroom at one of the mini parties I was at, and she was like, are, are butterflies your spirit animal? And I was like, for this birthday season, it is, because I'm going through a transformation. And she said, I want to tell you that through your transformation, trust it, right? Don't be afraid of transforming because it's going to take you to the level that you always been meant to be on. And so I that was something that I really needed to hear because yes, this is a humbling experience. Yes, this is sometimes it's frightening, but when somebody says something, I was like, look, I survived the concrete median. There's like, oh snap, you're on Beale Street. Look, don't worry about Beale. Beale is a great street. And look, shout out to Memphis because even though Memphis nearly took my life, I gained a whole new set of lives, right? Because I feel unstoppable, and I don't think, right, I would have took a chance on myself with starting my business, relaunching my podcast, had it not been for what I've been through in Memphis. And when Kirk Franklin, he just had an anniversary of almost dying in Memphis too. Over 20 years ago. So it's something about coming to Memphis where you're going to experience rather a spiritual death, hopefully not a physical death, but sometimes that happens, and that happens anywhere. So let's not act like Memphis is a city that takes your life. I had to argue with a guy last night because he was so hell to sidetrack. He was so hell bent on making Memphis the murder capital. And no, the murder capital is the United States of America. It is not Memphis. That is not murder. Is not a Memphis thing. It's an American thing. And I had to ask him, why are we arguing about which city puts the most souls in the ground? I had to ask him that, and he said, "True, true." And then so we went and looked up the stats. I mean, St. Louis. Shout out to St. Louis. I've lived there, but I really hate that St. Louis still claims that number one spot. And I'm hoping that one day we can go through a cleansing where we have a reborn again moment and not a carry 6 deep moment. So I'm really sick of that. But anyways, like I said, I went to St. Louis. St. Louis on the brand. I had to shout out. I had to come visit the 314. But I went to Memphis thinking that I was gonna get a career ladder boost. But actually, I went to Memphis and gained a boost in my spirituality, a boost in my confidence, a boost in knowing just what was in me, because it took a lot out of me because I didn't walk for nearly 6 months. I didn't take my first steps until September, but I didn't get out of that wheelchair for real until sometime in January when I really switched full time from using my walker to using my cane. And let me tell you, it's a humbling experience when your body cannot carry your weight. When your ankle say, baby, get somebody else to do it. And there was really many nights when my ankle said, get somebody else to do it. I mean, there was tremendous pain that I went through. But the best thing that I went through is that I learned to love my legs, my feet, right? Because that is something that I took for granted. Remember, I said in the hospital, I was more concerned about them cutting my favorite dress off my body because I had only worn it 2 times when the accident happened. That was my second time, and the accident happened, and it got cut off my body. And so I had to learn that it was not what was on me, it was what was in me. Because when God takes things away from you, right? Because God took my career from me, and not in the sense that I can't get it back, right? But in the sense that they had to let me go because I was not ready to come back physically wise. He took my favorite dress away from me. I mean, this year I had to give up my apartment. I had to let that go because it was not feasible on my disability check. And so what I really learned is that when everything gets taken away from you, who are you, right? Who are you when those things are gone from you? And so I really learned a lot about myself when it came to learning who I am when the title wasn't there, learning who I am when the car wasn't there, learning who I am when the housing wasn't there, right? So there was a lot of things that I had to learn about myself when it came to refinding myself, right? So that's why my podcast is all about redemption, because to me this is a redemption moment. I got motion, and baby, I'm gonna stay with motion, because when you in motion you have inertia, right? What is inertia? An object in motion that stays in motion. And to me, if you're not moving and you've been blessed with all 5, with all 10 fingers, all 10 toes, right? To me, you doing yourself a disservice, because that could be given to somebody else, right? It's people out here that has way less than us, right? That was born with less than us, meaning body wise, and they out here doing their thing. So what are you doing, right? Are you worried about what's on you, or are you prepping for what's in you, right? Because there's going to be a life-changing moment if it hasn't happened yet, and how you grow through that moment is based on how you accept it, right? How you deal with it. Because a lot of people say, oh, your spirits has been up the whole time. Yeah, my spirits are going to stay up, right? Because your body communicates with what it is that you give it. So if you give your body happiness, you're going to, right, recover in happiness. If you give your body depression and sadness, right, your memory, your cells are going to convert to that. So it's always going to be a battle. Yes, I'm still battled up. I had to wrap both my feet today because I had did way too much, okay? I ran it up for 32 because 31, there was a lot of things I felt like I didn't get. So for 32, it was personal. So yes, I stood longer than I needed to. I walked longer than I should have. But even though I walked longer than I should have, and I stood longer than I should have, I don't regret it. So yeah, I'm gonna have the cane. Yes, I'm gonna have these bandages, but be cute in whatever stage that you are in life, right? We're too focused on what people think of us when we're not thinking of ourselves. So I'm gonna attach, if you're on my YouTube, watching me on YouTube, I'm gonna attach my accident recovery video so that you can see just all the things that I've been through. Shout out to my viewers on SoundCloud, Apple, Spotify. I love all of you all. Hang in there, because look, this is just the beginning. So I'm just getting things off the ground, but there's already a foundation, right? Because what I went through 31, number 4, right, represents a foundation. What I went through 31, nothing else can stop me. And I want you to know that I hope that you never have to crash into a concrete wall. But if there's a concrete wall, whether figuratively or physically, know that you're seeing a representation of one that's been through it as well. And that don't stop you, right? You just pick up where you left off, right? Because what don't kill you makes you stronger. And it indeed has made me stronger. So thank you all for listening. I'll be back for episode 6 next Monday at 7 p.m. because we're going to be here each and every Monday at 7 p.m. because that's what Amy the 7th do. And I can't wait to bring you more characters. I have my girl Janina Warren. I can't wait till you hear from her. She launched Grant Scanner. So if you need grants and you're a small business, check in with her now. She's on Instagram as well. Check in with her there. just know that I have a lot more amazing people to check in. My girl Jewel, we gonna talk to her as well. She's all about restoring herself after the loss of her mother, and we know that's a big deal as well. So make sure you post it on my YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe to everything I put out, because I appreciate the support. Make sure you follow me on Instagram or Facebook at Amy the 7th, and that's Amy the 7th TH. And make sure you be here front and center again every Monday, because we're here. Peace and love, y'all.
Yes, I guess we'll go through the. I guess we'll go through the precautions. Yeah. So could you?
Happy birthday to
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate all the birthday wishes.
Where's it hurt?
Where you pulling that right there when you were cutting?
There we go.
Oh, praise God. I wanted it off so bad.
Given to your ankles in the long run. So, yep. Just pick up on them. Go, Tasia. Go, Tasia. All right, my dear. Right behind you. Make sure you.
It's sturdy.
Look at the accomplishments.
Happy wellness.
I guess
Happy
24
healing.
plus 8 since I'm 32 in July. So this is me, Najee, sending off not only my affirmations, but my dreams and hopes that the spirit may accept the things that I want in life. Thank you so much for blessing me to live not only another year, but to survive what it is that I experienced in life. May this sail on not only to what it is that I hope to accomplish after this.